İsrail'i paraganlar, parayı geldi. These are the only Armenians. First, I have to apologize for my casual dressing because I work with you, and I thought we are among outsiders.
Give a chair to stay on.
First, I wish to thank the Committee for the Commemoration of the Armenian Genocide for inviting me today. Your invitation on this day, this most meaningful of days, has humbled me as it shows your willingness to open your heart and listen to me. It is truly an honor. Thank you very much. I know that my speaking openly about what happened in 1915 and acknowledging the Armenian Genocide is the reason for your invitation. The truth is, however, that there is nothing special in what I am doing. As a scholar, I want to understand one of the major crimes in human history. As a citizen of Turkey, I believe that a complete and honest reckoning with the crimes in my country's history, including, of course, the Armenian Genocide, is the only way to create true democracy in Turkey and peace and stability in the Middle East. I know that your hearts and souls have been filled with bitterness of the terrible tragedy of the past 95 years. You have lived with the knowledge of having a crime of this magnitude ignored and denied by its perpetrators and their successors. That bitterness has come close to extinguishing whatever hope you may have had of one of day getting an acknowledgement of your pain. Some small consolation for the great loss for your people suffered. The fact that the genocide is not recognized is like living a second equally horrific violation of your people, your history and your culture. I'm here to tell you that because of Turkey's stubborn policy of denial, the situation in Turkey is not much better than it used to be. The failure to acknowledge the legacy of the Armenian Genocide is a crucial reason why Turkey remains sadly deficient in true democratic values to this day and why it has unable to create a society that respects human rights. It is why different ethnic religious groups are still struggling for their democratic rights and the Kurdish issue is still unresolved. Perhaps you are wondering why Turkey continues to deny the genocide and you are curious to know what is really happening over there. If you follow the events, I'm sure there are days when you are shocked and surprised, like the commemoration day anniversary of Hrant Dink's assassination, or the other days when you are puzzled and confused. If we really want to get down to the core, why the denialist policy refused to die, you have to keep one important thing in your mind. Turkey has been fooled year after year by the same class of people that presided over the fall of the Ottoman Empire. Turkey was established by the same party that organized the Armenian Genocide. Union and Progress Party that organized the Armenian Genocide was the same party established today in modern Republic of Turkey. It was the Party of Union and Progress that was behind the genocide, and it is party founded Turkish Republic. And a significant number of the founding cadres of the Turkish Republic either participated in the genocide directly or became rich by plundering Armenian property. And Republic remained politically static and for decades negotiating the same class of bureaucrats and military men and relying on the same support from within the same segment of the population. The difficulty in facing up what happened in Turkey's history and acknowledging the Armenian genocide lies here. It is very clear that in order to recognize the genocide, Turkey, we people of Turkey, have to accept that our forefathers, these individuals who have been revered and whose heroic deeds decorated the pages of our history books, committed some horrific crimes, horrific deeds, not least of which is the genocide. It requires that the Turkish nation to accept that those great saviors and those people who created a nation from nothing, how we learn in school, and they were murderers and thieves. It is so much simpler to completely deny the genocide and to seize the initiative and face the prospect of an obliteration of the ingrained notions about the Republic and our own national identity. But now, today, there is another Turkey growing. A new civil society in Turkey has begun to understand that without coming to terms with history, we cannot build a democratic future in Turkey. We know that 97 years of forgetting has not produced democracy in Turkey. Just the opposite. It has created a state, a Turkish state, that conducted an open war against their own citizens over the years. It was this state burned Alevites alive. You know the Alevites, and this group, 1993 in Sivas, they burned 35 of them in a hotel alive. And it was this same state that tortured and killed thousands of young men and women after each of military coups d'etats. And it was the same state that really killed and hanged some of the individuals, Muslims, who refused to dress Western style of clothing. 1925, 26, Muslim people were hanged because they really denied, can you imagine, to dress in Western style. And only in 1990s alone, the number of Kurdish civilians, not the PKK fighters or the on the mountains, only the civilian, Kurdish civilian citizens who were killed by unknown perpetrators numbers more than 15,000 in 1990s. They are responsible committing the political murders, including Hrant Dink's assassination. This is the short summary of 90 years of history of the Republic of Turkey. We, people of Turkey, know that forgetting the past, not knowing what happened to Armenians, has been one of the main reasons of these 97 years of tragedy, and actually remembrance and open reckoning with the past is essential for our democracy in Turkey. My main message to you today is that you have to know that there is significant change in Turkey that began in 2002. This change is being experienced on two levels. The first level is on the continuity, which I just spoke of. Until 2002, Turkey was governed by a bureaucratic and military ruling elite who were the heirs to the Union and Progress Party, and in 2002, the power of that elite was taken away. The AKP, the Islamist party, is not from these ruling elites. And these were the military and bureaucracy who opened the war against the people of Turkey and created the picture that I draw about. These were who organized the military coups of 1960, 1971, 1980, 1997. These generals are being arrested one by and thrown into jail. Today, over 200 generals, colonels, and high-ranking officers are sitting in prison and paying for the military coups and for their political murders in 1990s. I know this is small consolation because those in power still continue to deny the Armenian genocide. Recently, they announced that they started to organize the diaspora Turks with Azerbaijan towards 2015, and they announced 1 week before that they are going to organize a huge meeting anniversary in Istanbul with thousands of diaspora Turkish organizations and with Azerbaijanis to commemorate, to celebrate the occupation and the liberation of Baku 1918 September. They might not be aware, those in Ankara, but I'm sure that the Azeris knows very well. When 1918 Turkish Islamist army occupied Baku, they massacred more than 10,000 of Armenians. So they are preparing also at the same time this radical policy towards 2015. We have both contradicting picture in Turkey. On the one side, they are going after generals who committed these political murders, who tortured the Turkish individuals, and there are trials after trials, and there is a honest reckoning with the past. The Turkish Prime Minister apologized, for example, for the crimes of Dersim Army, Dersim people, 1938, you might have heard about it, 1938, there was a huge massacre against Dersim people. This is a region where Kurdish Alevites people lives, and there was a special reason for the massacre in 1938 against these people, because Dersim people saved approximately 30,000 of Armenian lives during Armenian Genocide. And there are still Armenians living in Dersim area. In 1938, approximately 50,000 of them were massacred by Turkish army, and today it is not a taboo anymore, and Turkish Prime Minister, because of the pressure, domestic pressure, publicly apologized in name of Turkish state for the massacre of 1938. But on the other side, they are vehemently pushing the genocide denial policy on the other hand. So, but on the other side, I think there is another reality also you have to know. In order to understand this reality, we have to make a very clear distinction between the Turkish state and Turkish people. I know, until recently, in your minds, they were both one and the same, because you never heard any message that different. You consider everyone in Turkey to be a denialist. For you, a Turk was someone who murdered your ancestors, who represented the murderers, or who supported the policy of denial. This is completely understandable when all you saw and heard was denial. It is true that for the past 95 years, the Turkish state has tried to suppress the truth about history with a very intense policy of denial. It has tried to erase society's memory and to get people to think about the event of 1915 in a way that the state wanted them to think. I don't consider it an exaggeration to refer to this as a brainwashing campaign, or better yet, an ideological terrorism in Turkey. First, the state has filled the young minds of students in the schools with an account of history marked by extreme nationalism. I'll give you a couple of examples how we grew up in our schools, how they taught us the history. Our children and we were educated in an atmosphere of paranoia in which we are made to believe that everyone in the world is an enemy of Turks, that we are surrounded by greed.